I never imagined my life would be shattered by a false accusation. But here I am, curled up on my bed, tears streaming down my face as I clutch my phone like it's a lifeline, the weight of betrayal heavy on my chest. It was an ordinary Tuesday afternoon when my mother called, her voice trembling as she recounted the horrifying claims from my cousin Lily. She said I had touched her inappropriately years ago. In that moment, I felt the ground shift beneath me, plunging me into a dizzying abyss. In an instant, I became a pariah. My parents disowned me, my siblings turned their backs, and I found myself utterly alone, drowning in a sea of betrayal that threatened to swallow me whole. The trauma of it all crashed over me like a tidal wave, dragging me down into a darkness I never knew existed. I spiraled, my mind a prison filled with thoughts of worthlessness and despair that clawed at my sanity. For years, I wandered through life in a fog, skipping classes, isolating myself from friends, questioning every relationship I had built. Trust transformed into a foreign concept, a distant memory of what once was. I vividly remember the day I finally reached out for help, sitting across from a therapist whose compassionate eyes held understanding as I poured out my heart, desperate for a lifeline amidst the chaos. Through therapy, I began to confront the storm of anger and pain raging within me, learning to forgive myself for something I never did. Yet the scars remained, deep and raw, a constant reminder of my shattered past. As I slowly started to rebuild my life, I channeled my energy into my career, pouring myself into my studies and landing an internship that reignited my passion. It felt like a small victory amidst the ruins. I bought a small house, a sanctuary I could call my own, where I could paint over the memories of my old life with fresh coats of hope and determination, each brushstroke a declaration of my resilience. Yet even as I constructed this new life, the pain and anger lingered like unwelcome shadows, always there, whispering reminders of the family I had lost to a lie. Then, after nearly a decade of silence, my phone buzzed with a message from my mother, a simple, gut-wrenching "can we talk?" that shattered the fragile peace I had painstakingly built. My heart raced as I read the words, a swirling storm of relief and fury. How could they reach out after all this time? I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but I also felt an aching longing for connection. When I finally agreed to meet, nerves gripped me like a vice, my palms sweaty and my stomach churning as I stepped into the coffee shop, the air thick with unspoken tensions. Seeing my mother after all those years was surreal. She looked older, warier, yet her eyes still held the warmth I once knew and missed so desperately, igniting a flicker of hope even as anger bubbled beneath the surface. We sat in silence, the weight of unspoken words pressing heavily between us before she finally spoke, her voice cracking as she confessed. Lily had admitted to lying. The revelation hit me like a punch to the gut, relief warred with rage, flooding my system. How could they have believed her so easily, so completely, casting me aside without a second thought? As I listened to my mother's tearful apologies, a strange sense of vindication washed over me. But alongside it was a profound sense of loss. They had taken so much from me, and mere words wouldn't bring it back. Yet part of me craved the connection, yearned for the family I had once known. So I let the anger simmer beneath the surface as we cautiously navigated the treacherous waters of our conversation. We talked for hours, piecing together the shattered fragments of our relationship, and I could see the pain etched on her face as she recounted their suffering, living with the guilt of abandoning me. I wanted to scream, to unleash the years of hurt and confusion, but instead, I found myself listening, recognizing their pain reflected my own. It was a twisted mirror, and I was lost in its depths. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in fiery hues of orange and pink, a flicker of hope ignited within me. Maybe, just maybe, we could rebuild what was lost, piece by fragile piece. We began to meet regularly, our conversations tentative yet filled with laughter and shared memories. But trust didn't come easy. It was a slow, arduous journey, the past always lurking just beneath the surface. I started dating again, but even the simplest moments felt tainted by my past. How could I let someone into my heart when it had been shattered into countless pieces? Yet each date was a step forward, a chance to rediscover joy, and with each small victory, I felt the weight of my past begin to lift, like a fog slowly dissipating in the morning light. But doubt crept in often, like a thief in the night, whispering that I was destined to be alone. I fought against it, refusing to let it suffocate me. reminding myself that I deserved happiness. One evening, as I sat across from a kind-hearted man named Jake, I realized I was laughing again, genuinely laughing, and it felt like a breakthrough, a moment of clarity amidst the chaos. I shared my story with him, the painful details of betrayal and loss, and instead of recoiling, he listened intently, his empathy wrapping around me like a warm blanket, offering solace I hadn't known I needed. With each passing day, I learned to trust again, not just others, but myself as well. And it was freeing, like shedding an old skin that had long since become uncomfortable. But the road to healing was still bumpy. There were nights I cried myself to sleep, haunted by memories of family gatherings I would never attend again. The ache of absence, a constant companion. My parents still had a long way to go, and I often found myself torn between the desire for revenge and the hope for reconciliation. Could I ever forgive them fully? Eventually, I realized that the ultimate revenge was living well, finding happiness in my own life, independent of their acceptance or approval. A quiet triumph I could claim for myself. As I stood in my house, surrounded by my paintings and the life I had built, I felt a surge of gratitude. I had fought to reclaim my narrative, and for the first time I felt like I was winning. Though I would never get back the years I lost, I felt hopeful for the first time in a long time. I embraced the future with arms wide open, ready to write the next chapter of my life. My story is a testament that even in the depths of betrayal and pain, healing is possible, and the truth, no matter how long it takes, can ultimately prevail. Thank you for watching. For more real stories and powerful dramas, be sure to like, subscribe, and explore our Twisted Ancestry channel. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting us and transforming your love life with the Make Him Worship You program, linked in the description. It's a game changer for any woman seeking the love she truly deserves.